Imagine for a moment that every rejection you've ever received, every time someone said no to your idea, your product, your request, or even your dream, wasn't the end of the story, but the beginning of a new one. What if every no was a disguised yes, wrapped in fear, doubt, or uncertainty? That's the shift we're about to make. Because the truth is, turning no into yes isn't about manipulation. It's about listening differently, thinking differently, and responding in a way that reframes resistance into agreement. Think about history for a second. Some of the most influential figures in business, politics, and art didn't succeed because everyone said yes to them. In fact, their paths were littered with rejection. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. J.K. Rowling's manuscript was rejected by a dozen publishers before one finally said yes. If they had treated those no's as final, we wouldn't even know their names. Instead, they interpreted rejection differently. They saw no as a form of feedback, as a signal that they had to adjust, persist, and refine. That's the core principle here. No is not a wall, it's a mirror. It shows you what's missing between where you are and the yes you're chasing. Now let's break down why people actually say no. Neuroscience gives us a fascinating answer. The human brain has a negativity bias. It scans for risk 5 times more than reward. When someone says no, it usually isn't about you. It's about self-protection. A no might mean I don't feel safe yet, or I don't see the value clearly enough, or this threatens the way I do things. It's a defense mechanism. Once you understand that, objections stop feeling like rejection and start feeling like a diagnosis. Every no contains the seed of the yes. It just points to the gap you need to fill. Here's an example in sales. A client says it's too expensive. That sounds final. But dig deeper and you'll hear what's really being said. I haven't yet seen how this will pay off. That's not a no forever. It's an invitation to demonstrate value more clearly. Another says, I need more time. Translation, I don't feel urgency yet. The path to yes is showing the cost of inaction. Or think about relationships. Someone says, I'm not ready. That often means I don't feel secure enough. Build trust and readiness grows. These aren't doors slamming, they're doors waiting for the right key. So how do you unlock them? The first step is curiosity. Instead of collapsing when you hear no, lean in. Ask questions that disarm. What about this doesn't feel right yet? What would you need to see or feel to move forward? That transforms a wall into a window. The second step is reframing. Take their objection and flip it. If they say it's too risky, respond with, that's exactly why this approach was designed, to remove the risks you're already facing. Align the objection with the solution. The third step is empathy. People don't want to be argued with, they want to be understood. Show them you see their perspective, then guide them to a new one. But let's go deeper, because the most powerful no to yes flips aren't about tactics, they're about mindset. If you walk into any conversation terrified of hearing no, you'll project desperation, and desperation repels agreement. But if you enter seeing objections as opportunities, your energy changes. You become calmer, more curious, more confident. You expect resistance, so it doesn't rattle you. And when you stay calm, the other person feels safer leaning in. That's the paradox. The less you fear no, the faster you find yes. This works beyond sales or persuasion. Think about negotiating with yourself. How often do you tell yourself, no, I can't do that, I'm not ready, I'll probably fail? These internal no's shape your behavior more than anything else. But what if you treated them the same way? What if instead of believing them, you reframe them? I can't do this becomes, what would I need to learn to do this? I'll probably fail. Becomes, what if failure is the path to mastery? Suddenly your internal resistance becomes fuel. You stop running from your doubts and start using them as a compass. Now let's make this even more practical with a framework you can apply anywhere. It's called Acknowledge, Align, Advance. Step 1. Acknowledge the no. Don't fight it. Say, I hear you. Step 2. Align with the concern. Show you understand their perspective. Step 3. Advance the conversation by reframing. For example, I hear you. This does feel like a big investment. I'd feel the same way if I didn't know the return. That's why I'd like to show you exactly how others in your shoes have tripled their results. See how that works? You don't fight, you don't flee. You absorb, align, and redirect. Over time, this skill rewires your life. Rejection no longer stops you. Instead, it becomes the raw material for persuasion, connection, and growth. You begin to see every no as a roadmap. And roadmaps are valuable because they show you where to go. Imagine what happens to your confidence when you no longer fear rejection. Imagine walking into every negotiation, every pitch, every conversation with the certainty that even if you hear no, you'll know what to do with it. That's freedom. That's power. Imagine walking into a negotiation and hearing no without even flinching. Instead of shrinking or defending yourself, you smile. You smile because you know is the beginning of the real conversation. That's the mindset of people who consistently turn rejection into agreement. They understand that no is rarely final. It's fluid, and with the right response, it bends. The first advanced strategy is labeling. This comes from FBI negotiator Chris Voss, who spent decades persuading hostage takers. When someone says no, label the emotion behind it. It sounds like you're worried this might not deliver, or it seems like timing is the big issue for you. Labeling diffuses tension. It shows empathy without surrender. When people feel understood, they relax, and a relaxed mind is far more open to yes. The second strategy is mirroring. Repeat the last few words they said with a question mark, almost like an echo. If they say, "This feels risky," you respond, "Feels risky?" This subtle technique prompts them to elaborate, and in elaborating, they often talk themselves toward resolution. It's not about trickery, it's about drawing out what's unsaid. Because most no's aren't clear, they're vague. Mirroring makes them explicit. Third is the power of silence. After someone objects, resist the urge to fill the space. Let silence work. Humans hate silence, so they rush to explain themselves. Often, they soften their own no, or reveal the real issue. Silence is a tool of patience, and patience signals confidence. The person who is calm enough to wait usually controls the frame. But here's where it gets deeper. To turn no into yes, you must redefine success in the conversation. Success isn't about getting agreement right away, it's about getting engagement. Every time you transform resistance into dialogue, you win. Agreement follows engagement. That's why the best persuaders love objections. They keep the conversation alive. A flat yes without understanding can collapse later, but a hard-earned yes, one that grew from honest no's, is strong. Now let's layer in storytelling. Humans don't shift because of arguments, they shift because of narratives. If someone says no, don't just counter with facts. Tell them a story about someone like them who once felt the same way, but found success after saying yes. Stories bypass resistance. They activate empathy and imagination. They let people see themselves on the other side of the decision. Case study, Thomas Edison. He heard no thousands of times in the form of failed experiments, but each failure taught him something. He reframed no as not this way. Eventually, he found the yes that lit the world. Another case, Abraham Lincoln. He lost multiple elections. Each no built resilience, honed his strategy, and prepared him for the presidency. In both cases, no was the training ground for the yes that mattered. So how do you practice this in your own life? Start small. Next time someone says no, pause. Don't argue. Ask, what would need to change for this to be a yes? That simple question reframes rejection into collaboration. Or what's the biggest thing holding you back right now? Objections lose power when named. Once named, they can be solved. And here's a secret. Sometimes you have to create space for no's before people can say yes. Give them permission. Say, it's okay if this isn't right for you right now. That paradoxically makes people lean in. Why? Because they feel safe. Safety is the soil in which yes grows. Picture the ripple effect of mastering this. At work, you stop dreading client objections and start welcoming them. In relationships, disagreements stop tearing you apart and start deepening connection. In personal growth, your inner critic's no's stop paralyzing you. They start pointing you toward growth edges. You stop running from rejection. You start harvesting it. This is the mental flip. See no as data, not defeat. See no as dialogue, not dismissal. See no as a map, not a wall. With practice, you'll develop the calm, confident energy of someone who is unshakable, and people trust the unshakable. They follow them. They say yes to them. So here's your challenge. This week, seek out the no's. Ask for feedback that might sting. Make a bold request you expect to be denied. And when the no comes, breathe. Smile. Ask the question that transforms it. What would it take to make this a yes? You'll be amazed how quickly the world starts to bend in your favor. Because the truth is, no isn't the end, it's the beginning. And when you master that truth, there are no dead ends, only detours on the way to yes.